who is swept up into events of world-shattering import. Across a wonder-filled, earns young Thirsk a miraculous bequest. In a city covered in rice, wow. And the number of missing magicians, he is ill prepared for the trouble that follows. Geez, why can't I talk? Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Joshana here to do another Try a Chapter Unhaul situation. I have several books here that have been chilling on my shelves for a little bit. Books where I just haven't felt compelled to pick them up. And, you know, I don't know if I should keep them around or not. And so I want to just give them a try and see if there are any that initially just all the bad vibes, not a writing style I like, or whatever else, that I could just clear them off and unhaul. My goal is to try to find at least 3 that I feel like unhauling from this pile, but first I will do it like I did last time, where I show you the books in question, and then I will pause to go read a bit from them. I say try a chapter, but as with any try a chapter, I think it's like one chapter might be, you know, 50 pages from one book, but from another book, a chapter is like 2 pages. So I'm just going to try to like get a good enough feel for them to determine, you know, whether it's a chapter, 2 chapters, whatever the case may be. I'll try to read like at least 20 pages from each one. And if I don't get any strong vibes one way or the other, I will keep. But yeah, again, my goal is to try to find hopefully 3 at least that give me strong enough no vibes that I could clear them off my shelves. So let me show you the books. This first one, I'm kind of like, I hope it doesn't turn out to be this way. I have 5 of these books. The first 3 are from like this one trilogy, and then the others are from like a different series. And I'm looking down at it. That's what I'm looking at. I'm sorry. But at any rate, it is Rhapsody by Elizabeth Hayden. Very kind of old school fantasy mass market paperback situation. This is actually like a really good copy though of, you know, for an old ass mass market. And yeah, let's see what it is. The brilliant new saga is born. Rhapsody is a woman, a singer with a capital S, of some talent, who is swept up into events of world-shattering import. On the run from an old romantic interest who won't take no for an answer, Rhapsody literally bumps into a couple of shady characters, half-breeds who come to her rescue in the nick of time. Only the rescue turns into an abduction, and Rhapsody soon finds herself dragged along on an epic voyage, one that spans centuries and ranges across a wonder-filled fantasy world, a world so real you can hear the sweet music of Rhapsody's obeyed, and smell the smoldering forges deep within the cauldron. We have some different fantasy creatures, races of beings, it seems. So we'll check that out. This one, I just have a vague memory of doing a try a chapter of this one before. So maybe I'm going to start reading it and feel familiar. But I don't know. At any rate, it's The Last Stormlord by Glenda Lark. Whoops. Another kind of older, I think, you know, fantasy. Not super old, though, this one I don't think is. Yeah, 2009, so it's not super, super old. But this one says, water is life, shale is the lowest of the low. An outcast from a poor village in the heart of the desert. In the desert, water is life and currency, and shale has none. But he has a secret. It's the one thing that keeps him alive and may save all the cities of the Quartern in the days to come, if it doesn't get him killed first. Terrell is a slave fleeing a life as a courtesan. She finds shelter in the home of an elderly painter, but as she learns the strange and powerful secrets of his art, she fears she may have traded a life of servitude for something far more perilous. The Stormlord is dying in his tower, and there is no one, by accident or design, to take his place. He brings the rain from the distant seas to his people. Without a Stormlord, the cities of the Quartern will wither and die. Sounds cool, but this happens sometimes, where I'm like, oh man, that sounds really cool, and then I read the first little bit, and I'm like, ugh, no. Another one that I feel like I did try a chapter of before, I might have. This one I really feel like I might have. Why is my memory so shitty sometimes? Mirren's Gift by Fiona McIntosh. Though barely a teenager, Will Thirsk must now assume the role he has been destined for since birth, commander of the Morgravian army, an awesome responsibility that calls him to the royal palace of the crown prince Selimus. Already a cruel despot who delights in the suffering of others, Selimus enjoys forcing his new general to witness his depraved entertainments. But a kindness to a condemned witch in her final agonizing hours earns young Thirsk a miraculous bequest, while inflaming the wrath of his liege lord. With war looming in the north, Will must obey Selimus's treacherous dictates and undertake a suicidal journey to an enemy court, armed with a mysterious power that could prove both boon and curse. For unless he accepts Mirren's gift, it will surely destroy him and the land he must defend. Again, sounds really cool. Why have I not picked these up? Because I have all the other books, too. And then this is a historical fiction, I think, or just a contemporary fiction, I don't really know, by Paula McLean, A Ticket to Ride. She wrote The Paris Wife, which I really liked. In the long, hot Illinois summer of 1973, insecure, motherless Jamie falls under the dangerous spell of her older, more worldly cousin, Fawn, who's come to stay with Jamie and her uncle as penance for committing an unmentionable act. It is a time of awakenings and corruptions, of tragedy and loss, as Jamie slowly discovers the extent to which Fawn will use anything and anyone to further her own ends, and recognizes, perhaps too late, her own complicity in the disaster that takes shape around them. Ooh, I don't know. And this one is a young adult fantasy that's been chilling on my shelves, and I've just heard some people have really, really enjoyed it, and then some people kind of really didn't enjoy it. But I feel like there's just a lot of people very in the middle with it. Where Dreams Descend by Janelle Angelis. In a city covered in rice. Wow. In a city covered in ice and ruin, a group of magicians faces off in a daring game of magical feats to find the next headliner of the conquering circus, only to find themselves under the threat of an unseen danger striking behind the scenes. As each act becomes more and more risky and the number of missing magicians piles up, three are forced to reckon with their secrets before the darkness comes for them next. The star, Kalia, a powerful showgirl out to prove she's the best, no matter the cost. The master, Jack, the enigmatic keeper of the club and more than one lie told. The magician, DeMarco, the brooding judge with a dark past he can no longer hide. God, I have so many. This is going to take forever. Good God. I don't know. If I get 3 before getting through all of them, I'll probably stop. I'm not going to lie. We'll see. Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. I just have a feeling over time of hearing more and more people talk about this series. I'm sure it's good, but I just don't know if it's going to be my cup of tea. So, mild-mannered headmaster Thomas Senlin prefers his adventures to be safely contained within the pages of a book. So when he loses his new bride shortly after embarking on the honeymoon of their dreams, he is ill prepared for the trouble that follows.
Jeez, why can't I talk?
To find her, Senlin must enter the Tower of Babel, a world of geniuses and tyrants, of luxury and menace. He must endure betrayal, assassination attempts, and the illusions of the tower. And if he hopes to ever see his wife again, he will have to do more than just survive. This quiet man of letters must become a man of action. And yeah, I don't know, it just, the premise sounds tedious to me. It just sounds like I'll be like, I don't, get out of this fucking tower. That's just how I imagine I'll feel. I don't know. Oh, I've got quite the tower going on here of books. All right, second to last one is Torn by Rowena Miller. This is another, I think, young adult, I'm pretty sure. In a time of revolution, everyone must take a side. Sophie, a dressmaker and charm caster, has lifted her family out of poverty with a hard-won reputation for beautiful ball gowns and discreetly embroidered spells. A commission from the royal court could secure her future and thrust her into a dangerous new world. Revolution is brewing. As Sophie's brother Christos rises to prominence in the growing anti-monarchist movement, it is only a matter of time before their fortunes collide. When the unrest erupts into violence, she and Christos are drawn into a deadly magical plot. Sophie is torn between her family and her future. All right. And then we have, I believe, like a steampunk, steampunk, fantasy, historical type of thing. The Clockwork Dagger by Beth Cato. Orphaned as a child, Octavia Leander was doomed to grow up on the streets until Miss Percival saved her. Gifted with incredible powers, the young healer is about to embark on her first mission, visiting suffering cities in the far reaches of the war-scarred realm. But the airship on which she is traveling is plagued by a series of strange and disturbing occurrences, including murder, and Octavia herself is threatened. Suddenly she is caught up in a flurry of intrigue. The dashingly attractive steward may be one of the infamous Clockwork Daggers, the Queen's spies and assassins, and her cabin mate harbors disturbing secrets. But the danger is only beginning, for Octavia discovers that the deadly conspiracy may reach the crown itself. So, okay, I'm going to go through these and do some reading, and I will be back in God knows how long. Okay, so I did the thing, and I read all of these books, amazingly, in about 45 minutes. My lights seem especially bright right now, and it's hurting my eyes. What the fuck? Oh my God, what is wrong with me? I don't know. Like, looking at my ring light is hurting my eyes. Anyway, all right, and I don't quite have three. I'll just show you. Okay, the yeses. Rhapsody by Elizabeth Hayden. I honestly didn't read too much of this. I read like the first 5 pages, I want to say, and I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued enough. The writing style was a little, maybe not, but it was enough of I'm not sure, and I maybe would need to get a really solid feel, 100 pages or so to really get an opinion, and I'm not going to read 100 pages right now. But yeah, it was enough of a, could be a yes that this is a yes, I'm going to keep this. And I feel like this one might be the most surprising to me, perhaps. Maybe not, I don't know. I'm trying to decide which one's the most surprising. Actually, no, this other one's probably the most surprising. This one was kind of surprising, though. The Last Stormlord by Glenda Lark. Why do I keep saying Clark? My God. At any rate, I only read, how much? 4 pages of this one. And, I mean, not even, because technically page 3 is where chapter 1 starts. So I read a page and a half and was immediately, yes, writing style seems to be something I will enjoy, and the premise I do enjoy, and the character that we meet in the first page and a half, I was already there with her, and yeah, I'm excited for this. More excited than I was before. This one is not surprising necessarily. I really, really like the authorial voice and the writing style. It's just one where I don't know if I will actually enjoy the story as a whole once I get into it at some point, but I definitely liked the authorial voice and kind of the tone of it quite a bit, and that is A Ticket to Ride by Paul McLean. So another yes. Keeping. This one is a yes, but it still is a very, I don't know how I will feel once I really get into the story whenever I do pick this one up officially someday. Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. I still could see this one being a DNF, potentially even, a couple 100 pages in DNF, where I just, like I said, I have this feeling that at some point I will just find the plot tedious, but I could be very wrong. The authorial voice, the writing style, I was enjoying in this first bit. I did read the whole first chapter, which was 12 pages, and I wasn't mad at it. I was intrigued enough, right? This is the one that I think might actually be the most surprising, and the only reason I bought this book, I've never heard of it anywhere, except this is one of my Storygraph recommendations ones that at some point I'm going to do another round of a vlog style project of, how accurate are the Storygraph recommendations. And I don't know, this one's promising. Torn by Rowena Miller. Again, the only reason I picked it up is because of that. I don't think I'd ever heard of it before then. And it's a young adult, and I just was kind of I don't know. At least I think it's young adult. Maybe it's not. I don't know. It's Orbit Fantasy. Is it young adult? I mean, the main character that we initially met is pretty young, at least, but I don't know if it's actually categorized as that. At any rate, yeah, I just wasn't real sure about it, but right off the bat, the authorial voice I really enjoyed, and the main character that we initially are meeting, I was there with her. I was enjoying getting to know her already. So very, very promising again. Yay. And then I have one that is, it's like a yeah, but also a maybe, I think. And that is The Clockwork Dagger by Beth Cato. I read the first chapter, which was 18 pages. And I don't know. I wasn't mad at it. I mean, it was pretty, compulsively readable, I guess. Like pretty easily readable, easy to read. But the authorial voice just wasn't doing a lot for me necessarily. And the plot, I can't really put my finger on what it was. Something about it just wasn't feeling all the way there. That's the worst way of describing it, but I'm very on the fence with this one. Very on the fence. And I do have two that are just a no. And the first one is Mirren's Gift by Fiona McIntosh. Sounds, the premise sounds fun enough, I guess. But the first little bit, I just was not. I mean, I read like 3 pages of this one, I want to say. And I was like pushing myself to read even those 3 pages, just like immediately, oh God, oh no. Just authorial voice not working for me. A little bit too old school fantasy sounding, and almost in a way of like attempting to sound that way, like too hard. I don't know, like trying too hard maybe. I'm not sure. It just wasn't vibing with me. And I think I actually have the other 2 books in this trilogy also. So that's 3 books that will be coming off of my shelves. And then this one, which isn't very surprising because, like I said, I've heard very mixed things about it, and I just wasn't sure about it already. Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelise. Yeah, almost immediately, again with this one, I didn't read too far into it. The authorial voice was... I don't even know. I don't even know how to describe it. Very, like, abrupt and... like oddly trying to be dramatic, I want to say, which I don't know, maybe that makes sense for the story and whatnot, but it was just already kind of grating on my nerves slightly. So I will be unhauling this one as well. So like I said, 2 specific books, but one of them, it's a trilogy, so I'm going to unhaul the whole trilogy. So technically that is 3 books I'm unhauling from this experiment, but I don't know, this one I have book 1 and 2, but it was like kind of, I feel like this could be one because it was pretty like easily readable, easy to read, could be compulsively readable, where even if I don't love everything going on or I don't feel like it's all the way there, could be just a fun, lighthearted, little steampunk, historical fantasy romp type of palate cleanser almost. I don't want that to sound derogatory or like negative, but you know what I'm saying. So I think I'll probably keep this, and yeah, just someday when I'm like, let me just try this shit out. Let's see. When I'm in the mood for something that like I'm not like, I need to love it, where I'm just like, I just kind of want a fun time, and hopefully this will be that. I'll read it then. So there we have it. Not like super, I guess, successful as far as unhauling a lot of books. I'll be unhauling 4 physical books from this Try a Chapter Unhaul. But, successful in the fact that, like I said, there's a few of these that I read the initial pages from, and I'm more excited to read them now. So, yay. I would call that a success. Let me know down in the comments if you have read any of these and have any opinions. Of course, don't give spoilers. Duh. Or if you just want to say hello and make your presence known, you can leave a little emoji. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.